Testing. What's going on? There we go. Perfect. Going on, people? How are we doing? Welcome to this live stream. This live stream is, of course, the weekly recap that we do. You guys, every single week, every single Monday to be precise. And we recap the ideas that we posted yesterday. So we give out every Sunday a euro and a gold markup, and we give our bias, our ideas, and we normally base it around a 4-hour time frame. Now, the reason we base it around the 4-hour time frame, as you guys know, is you're most likely going to pick up a larger picture of the overall potential for market movement, and generally you're going to see substantial shifts if your bias is correct. So again, if you're not a member already of the Discord community where I give out the ideas, or you're not following me on TradingView, then you can find the links for those down below. But let's have a look into what we have for this week. So we'll start off as we always do, looking at the previous week's charts. So here we have the 3rd of the 11th, and we said that we have an idea here for Euro. If you want to go and read this, you can. You can find all of the information that we've sort of marked up in the chart by following me on TradingView. Excuse me. Now, we said that our bias was long and we had areas for pricing to come higher from, but there was potential for all of these points to fail and prices just continue selling. This would take us below the 2 liquid points we had, and it would shift our bias to the downside. Now, if you look what we actually did, we played bullish from the area that we marked, we took out the high, and then we sold down through the lows. So we actually had both sides of the idea that we marked up met here, which is great, because ultimately you can never be 100% correct, so you can only pick up partial amounts of a move. So if you can pick up a little buy side move because your bias was bullish, then price goes bearish, that's fine. You may not be able to capitalize on the true shift, but you got at least a small portion of your bias correct. Now, heading over from last week's Euro into this week's Euro, you can see that we've played this chart already. We gave this, tell you what we'll do actually, guys, 1 second. We'll go back to where it hasn't been played so you can actually see what it was when we posted it. So same thing here, we said that our bias is bearish now, we've got another bearish shift, and we marked up here an area where short orders are sitting from Institute, so there's potential for price to sell from here, but ultimately we're targeting our lows. We expect price to keep delivering lower as it has been from last week's move to the downside. Now, we have 2 points to reference above, including the point right here. So this area is the area of supply that caused this last shift to the downside. We have the liquid high that's placed just above that, and then the internal liquid high above that. These are both points that we were referencing for potentially price selling off if we pulled back to these areas. But we were saying that pricing doesn't have to do that. It doesn't even have to pull back to this. It can just sell straight through the lows and hit the target low. Now, if we play this, you'll see it has done exactly what we just explained, which is running straight through the lows and ignoring the fact that there's any liquid even sitting above. So really just continuing the move that it already established from last week. So that, again, is super simple. So our bias has almost played out this week, but we would now have a liquid high right here, and this area of supply still remains unmitigated, so there is potential for that still. You can also look for slightly lower targets to be established, which would be take some time for them to form, but you could form a low and then you'd use that as a target as well. So let's go over to gold. Let's just go again here, get rid of that, and we have last week's gold, which is here. And you can see that we actually said our bias has changed to bearish. We have a short bias here on gold, and we're expecting price to sell through these lows. Ultimately, we could tap into this to then sell through the lows. Again, if you want to go and read the literature of this and see the markup for yourself, you can follow me on TradingView at Ross Hayes. Now, when we play this, you'll see that we actually tapped into here and sunk through beautifully. Now, of course, the same as Euro, we had some fundamentals come into play here, but in this case, they were bias friendly. And this is what we were saying as well in the markups this week. We said when we look at euro, for example, we had our bias change from short to long, which we did here. We now have fundamentals which have pushed this back into lower pricing, giving us our more favorable sell bias. Okay, so the bias now is in place where we're looking for pricing to sell from this area and run down, and we have had that already. Okay, so beautiful in terms of that. Now, what we have for this week on gold, we're looking for price to keep the sell side bias that we had in place already, and that is for this low to be taken out, and then there is a low down here. We haven't extended it down because we were looking for somewhere to sell, ideally from a slightly higher pricing within here first. Now we have a mitigated area of supply which has already been tapped into early on, at the end of Friday's session. We had a liquid high placed above it and another liquid high just above that. Now because of this, we are expecting price to either continue down from where it is or to liquidate one of these highs to then sell off, as you can see these two arrows. Now if price did not sell off and it continued to go bullish, we would look for the higher time frame area of supply. And of course, if this failed, we'll look for price to just go bullish and our bias was wrong. Now, in this case, when we play it, you can see we've had a beautiful expansion to the downside. Bias has been correct. We're now looking for the 2604 level to be hit, which is our current lowest target. So pricing, again, playing beautifully into our bias, showing that your bias will consistently be right if you follow the keep it simple steps, which are given in this YouTube in the 5-part playlist. We also have Keep It Simple +1 that was released on Saturday. So if you haven't already watched that, then head over to our, again, YouTube channel and watch that, because it will give you more context, more probability and more confidence in your overall Keep It Simple system. So guys, this has been the weekly outlook. I do appreciate everybody that has joined me, and I will see you all in the live stream that we're going to host in around 15 minutes time.